On the third day of Christmas, my brew love gave to me a Norwegian raw smoked ale from power fan Martin Mæhle from Norway. This came in a care package with some malt, 2 bottles of Martin Smoked Ale, 1 bottle of Ivar's Chop and Brew collaboration from when we were there, 1 bottle of Selland Ivar's farm, like everything, hops, the kveik. The malt wasn't from the farm, but one day will be. So anyway, this is Martin Smoked Ale, and it smells smoky from the second we poured it.
Oh, yeah.
And Martin was nice enough to send me some notes.
Wow.
To explain this beer. So this beer is a raw ale, means it was not boiled. It was made from 80% Norwegian grown and malted pale and 20% Orkdal malt. I think I'm saying that right. Orkdal malt, which is an alderwood-smoked malt that he sent me 2 kilograms for that I'll be using for a holiday beer later. But we tasted this and smelled it, and it is potent.
Oh yeah, very much.
And when I taste it, I have these great memories of Norway because a lot of their food, fishes, sausages, just a lot of things that are smoked and preserved and cured there, they use the alderwood. So this malt reminds me a lot of just the smell and the taste of food there. 80% pale, 20% smoked malt, a light juniper infusion, just 1 twig for 20 liters, which is about 5 gallons. He mashed for 2 to 3 hours at 154. And for a bit of color and to keep the temp up, he says he warmed a stone, which he put in the mash. Transferred the mash to a lauter tun, which had a bed of juniper. So a little juniper in the mash water, but a lot in the mash tun. Ran off wort at 1060. And then to keep the raw ale unboiled, off to the side, he does a smaller amount of wort and 2 or 3 small handfuls of sots. So he's basically making a hop tea off to the side, and then he kind of blends them together because he wants the bitterness from the hops, but he doesn't, based on tradition, want to boil this.
Doesn't want to throw them in for 60 minutes, right? However you're going to boil. Yes. Fermented
with the Vinje, Vinje, the Vinje kveik, which I had never heard of before, and not only is there some at the bottom of this bottle, obviously, but he was nice enough to send me a bag of this. It smells very different from the Journes that we've had. This one almost has kind of like a cheesy, funky, earthy, but also this weird kind lemon. Of like, this weird tart fruit to it. Whereas the Journes is very, as we both kind of called it, old book.
Yeah, kind of like old leather-bound book kind of smell to it.
But also a little
mushroomy.
Yeah. Yeah. But then the end result of it is often very citrusy. Yes. So, but 1060, he fermented at about mid-80s for 3 days. It fermented down to 10.3, like 1003. So that's lower than I've heard of any beer coming out of Norway in my limited experience so far. And he admits it's drier than he would have liked.
What, 7.55% or something like that?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's carbonated X amount just by being in this soda bottle across an ocean.
Wow.
It's very smoky, but it's surprisingly sweet. To me, it's surprisingly sweet for something that he's saying is too dry.
Yeah, it's almost, to me, it's almost kind of tangy. Mm-hmm. It's maybe the sweetness and the smokiness together kind of gives me the feeling that it's a little, almost like, has like a slight sour flavor to it.
Well, and he has mentioned his own version of this at home. He's like, it's gone a little sour, and I just literally Facebooked him and asked, why might that happen with raw ales? He says, as far as I know, there are 2 main issues with the tartness in raw ale. The first is, as you say, that it's not been boiled, and the other is that some kveiks have lacto in them.
Yeah.
So this
it's possible.
Vinje might, one of the many strains it has in its culture, in its community, could be lacto that wakes up after a certain amount of time, or not at a certain temp or beyond a certain temp. So it's not sour.
No, it's not
like vinegar.
It's not overly sour. It's not like sweet tart sour or anything, but there's like a little bit of a twang to it.
Man, I love that smoke though. That alderwood smoke has such a very specific kind of thing to it. Like every time, like Elsa smelled and ate a little piece of that the other day, she was like, this tastes like the smell of Ivar's brew cellar.
Yeah.
And I was like, it does.
Have you ever had an Orangina?
I don't think so.
It's a soda. It's an Italian soda. It's called Orangina. It comes in these little tiny bottles. This kind of reminds me of that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody else out there has had an Orangina, but if you had an Orangina, this kind of reminds me of that. It's got what I'm getting at the end when I drink it. I get that little bit of in the back of my throat kind of feeling when I'm drinking an Orangina, because Oranginas are kind of carbonated, but they're kind of an orangey flavored drink. But they have like a little bit of, I don't know.
It's not just a witty name.
No. Well, yeah, of course.
It's a clever name. Yeah. To me, I feel like sometimes a smoked beer will almost have that tartness on its own, like stopping short of being like medicinal is what I sometimes refer to it as, or almost like this kind of sterility to it. Sterility? I'm not sure what that word would actually be. But, yeah, I don't know. This is probably a little of both, maybe, because he says it's a couple months old. It's traveled across an ocean. But it's almost numbing, now that I haven't sipped for a minute or so.
Right.
It's got this cooling kind of numbing on the tongue.
Right.
And the gums.
Very good.
So in the idea
Thanks
here,
for sharing this one. This is something that I'm not going to get to drink every day. That's for sure.
And as Martin and Ivar have both mentioned, like certain kveik are kind of, they fall into one or two categories: boiled or raw. They will ferment the other one, but the idea is like you're keeping a tradition going by feeding it a wort that is used to, it's similar to what it's used to for hundreds of years.
So is he using the same drying process too as Ivar?
I don't know. I would assume so. It kind of looks the same, but I don't know.
Okay.
If he's dehydrating it from a slurry on a little wax paper kind of boat or cup.
Right.
I would assume so, but I don't know.
I'm just fascinated by the whole drying of the yeast. And you get all these chips.
I know.
It's like I've never seen this before, and I know. I
want to try to just brew right on top of this stuff once, but so far I've been doing fresh pitch from flakes.
Oh, definitely save that yeast cake. I mean, that'll be very valuable. You should be able to do something with that. Probably that would be all you'd have to put into your next beer, and you'd probably be fine.
All right, Martin, our ongoing taste.
Thank you, Martin.
Journey of Norwegian raw and boiled ales continues. It's so fun. I'm so appreciative that crew over in Norway finds us worthy of sending these boxes of beer to.
One of these days, I'm going to have to make it over there.
All right, kveik for kveik.
And smoke for smoke. Every day.
Smoke malt every day.
That's very good.